Alright, welcome everyone. Break number 212. So we're running solo today. Dad's busy. That's okay. So we've got our mini starter case, our priority box, which I'll put straight over to the side, and our 6 hobby boxes. Our team list is Broncos, Peter Lowe, Raiders, Darren McDermott, Bulldogs, Lee Marshall, Sharks, Steve Harris, Titans, Peter Lowe, Manly, Ryan Wesh, Storm, Robert Kelly, Knights, Andy Lipton, Cowboys, Jackson Schumi, Eels, Robert Kelly, Panthers, Alicia Lolo, Rabbitohs, Peter Lowe, Dragons, Darren McDermott, Roosters, David Jansen, Warriors, Peter Lowe, and Tigers, Peter Lowe. Peter Lowe, Peter Lowe, Peter Lowe. Welcome, good luck, let's go. So all spots in the break. Obviously get an entry. Welcome Lee, how are we buddy? Good luck. I'm going to pull all these out. Get rid of the big box. Dear Aura, welcome. Alright. So we'll do it like we normally do. We'll just get the club heroes out, stack the packets, and then we'll go back through and open the packets. You can just break the plastic. First club hero, number 96, Tolator Koala. Gold club hero, number 22 for the Dragons, Tara McGrath. Club hero silver, number 74, Joe Offengowie. Club hero silver, number 12, Simona Torfa for the Eels. Club hero gold, number 38, Taylor May for the Panthers. Club Hero Bronze, number 120, Taylor May for the Panthers. Club Hero Bronze for the Knights, number 96, Jesse Southwell. Number 55, Club Hero Silver, Holly Wheeler for the Dragons. Club Hero Bronze, number 85, Simona Torfa for the Eels. Club Hero Gold, number 15, Tyson Frizzell for the Knights. Club Hero Silver, Georgia Hale, number 8 for the Titans. Club Hero Silver, number 16, Valami Avale for the Warriors. Club Hero Gold for the Titans, number 4, Georgia Hale. Just a reminder, I've seen a comment on a recent video that we did. These are hobby starter packs. They have the Club Hero parallels. Number 4, Club Hero Silver, Nico Hines. The retails have the Power Heroes. Club Hero Silver, number 3, James Tedesco for the Roosters. Club Hero Bronze, number 28, Tyson Frizzell for the Knights. Two more to go. Club Hero Gold, number 2, Ewan Aiken for the Warriors. Oh, a few gold Club Heroes again, at least these ones are spread out. Club Hero Bronze, number 101. Dylan Edwards for the Panthers. Now, is that a double bronze? Oh no, Taylor May, wasn't it? There we go. Oh, well, I think that was a pretty good. Oh, we're not to them yet. Don't jump the gun. I think that was a pretty good spread. I don't know if we got any doubles. Not that I noticed. Alright, let's get into the packets. Driving Force, Josh Jackson for the Bulldogs. Storm Parallel Checklist. Ronaldo Mulatalo, Parallel for the Sharks. Zach Fulton, Rising Stars for Manly. Dylan Edwards, Parallel for the Eels. Sorry guys. Rising Stars, Jamin Salmon for the Panthers. Elliot Whitehead, Parallel for the Raiders. Club Heroes, Tyron Wishart for Storm. Cody Walker, Parallel for Rabbitohs. Season to Remember, Corey Oates for the Broncos. Jordan Rapiner, Parallel for the Raiders. Season to Remember, Josh Papali'i for the Raiders. James Fisher-Harris, Parallel for the Panthers. Club Heroes, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Murray Talagi, Parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Tom Chester for the Cowboys. Adam Reynolds, Parallel for the Broncos. Dean Mariner, Rising Stars for the Broncos. Moaki Fotuaika, Parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Fletcher Baker for the Roosters. Ryan Pappenhausen, Parallel for the Storm. Tigers, Parallel Checklist. Women's NRL, Jamie Chapman for the Broncos. Titans Parallel Checklist. Rising Stars, Zach Fulton for Manly. Mitchell Moses, Parallel for the Eels. Payne Haas, parallel for the Broncos. Forwards and backs, Max King for the Bulldogs. Max King parallel for the Bulldogs. Driving force, Jared Herrera-Hargreaves for the Roosters. Corey Horsburgh parallel for the Raiders. Women's NRL, Azara Canfield for the Titans. Adam Pompey parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Declan Casey for the Bulldogs. Reuben Garrick parallel for Manly. Ali Brugginshaw, Women's NRL for the Broncos. Alexander Brimson, parallel for Titans. Jesse Colquhoun, Rising Stars for the Sharks. Keon Kolomatangi, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Power Heroes, Chad Townsend for the Cowboys. Stefano Utakamanu, parallel for Tigers. Fennel Pole, Rising Stars for the Tigers. Bulldogs parallel checklist. Ronald Volkman, Rising Stars for the Warriors. Cameron McInnes, parallel for the Sharks. Cameron Murray, parallel for the Rabbits. Broncos parallel checklist. Season to remember, Taylor May for the Panthers. Nathan Cleary, parallel for the Panthers. Driving force, Nico Hines for the Sharks. Tommy Turbo, parallel for Manly. Fennel Pole, parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Cleese Haas for the Titans. Valentine Holmes, parallel for the Cowboys. Season to remember, Mikhail Ravalawa for the Dragons. Toby Sexton, parallel for the Titans. Millie Boyle, Women's NRL for the Knights. Jason Saab, parallel for Manly. Sean Russell, Rising Stars for the Eels. Alex Twal, parallel for Tigers. Rising Stars, Matthew Feagai for the Dragons. Saitili Tupanua, parallel for the Roosters. Women's NRL, Tamika Upton for the Knights. Dallin Watine Zelezniak, parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Grant Anderson for the Storm. Nathan Cleary, parallel for Panthers. So I'll do a few of these up before I knock them over. Alright. Matt Burton, forwards and backs for the Bulldogs. Raymond Faitala Mariner, parallel for the Bulldogs. Club Heroes, Jojo Fifita for the Titans. Chad Townsend, parallel for the Cowboys. Nico Hines, parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Matthew Feagai for the Dragons. Joseph Suaalii for the Roosters. I get confused. Driving Force, Alexander Brimson for the Titans. Jerome Hughes, parallel for Storm. Rising Stars, Tom Chester for the Cowboys. Payne Haas, parallel for Broncos. Kamora Brealey Natty, Women's NRL for the Titans. Morgan Harper, parallel for Manly. Club Heroes, Taylor May for the Panthers. Clint Gufferson, parallel for the Eels. Cowboys parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Grant Anderson for the Storm. Dylan Edwards, parallel for Panthers. Rabbitohs parallel checklist. Caitlin Johnston, Women's NRL for the Knights. Edward Cossey, parallel for the Warriors. We've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 more packets. Driving force, Jerome Hughes for the Storm. James Tedesco, parallel for Roosters. Rising Stars, Jesse Colquhoun for the Sharks. Rabbitohs parallel checklist. Isabel Kelly, women's NRL for the Roosters. Blake Laurie, parallel for the Dragons. Power Heroes, Stephen Crichton for Panthers. Brent Naden, parallel for the Tigers. Stephanie Hancock, women's NRL for the Titans. Edward Cossey, parallel for the Warriors. And our last packet from the hobby starter packets. Mini starter case. Rising Stars, Declan Casey for the Bulldogs. And Josh Alloway, parallel for Manly. Has everyone seen the top tipper post this week? What an effort. Perfect round, perfect margin. I believe that is the first. I do not remember a perfect round, perfect margin. I'm sorry if you all got it in the past and I've forgotten. But yeah, great effort. So just try and tidy these up and we'll get stuck straight into the hobby boxes. Alright. So we've got 6 hobby boxes and the priority box. Let's go. Power Heroes, Bradman Best for the Knights. Sue Kapoa, parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Selwyn Cobbo for the Broncos. Dave Fafita, parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Declan Casey for the Bulldogs. Josh Alloway, parallel for Manly. Driving force, Tamika Upton for the Knights. Eels, parallel checklist. Ronaldo Mulatalo, forwards and backs, parallel for the Sharks. Josh King, parallel for the Storm. Gold parallel, Raymond Faitala Mariner for the Bulldogs, number 13. Murray Talagi, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Freddie Lussick for the Warriors. William Kennedy, parallel for the Sharks. Forwards and backs, Moses Leota for the Panthers. Angus Crichton, parallel for the Roosters. Women's NRL, Keezy Apps for the Dragons. Josh Adokar, parallel for the Bulldogs. Season to remember, Tanner Boyd for the Titans. James Fisher-Harris, parallel for the Panthers. Rising Stars, Trent Peoples for the Rabbitohs. Cody Ramsey, parallel for the Dragons. Season to remember, Jackson Hastings for the Tigers. Dominic Young, parallel for the Knights. Driving force, James Fisher-Harris for the Panthers. Nick Kotrick. Nick Kotrick parallel for the Raiders. I don't know where I got Dominic from, but anyway. Tom Chester, Rising Stars for the Cowboys. Adam Reynolds, parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Jesse Colquhoun for the Sharks. Rabbitohs parallel checklist. Madison Bartlett, Women's NRL for the Titans. Edward Cossey, parallel for the Warriors. Women's NRL, Autumn Stevens for the Knights. Darren Watine Zalesniak, parallel for the Warriors. Dolphins, the number 3. Payne Haas, parallel for the Broncos. Joey Manu, forwards and backs for the Roosters. Max King, parallel for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Matthew Feagai for the Dragons. Joseph Suwali, parallel for the Roosters. Samantha Bremer, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Blake Laurie, parallel for the Dragons. Davida Totola, Club Heroes for the Rabbits. Nico Hines, parallel for the Sharks. Jason Tormalolo, no. Rising Stars, Simi Sasagi for the Knights, David Clemmer, parallel for the Knights. Driving Force, Jake Trbojevic for Manly, Raiders parallel checklist. Driving Force team for the women's NRL Broncos. No numbered. Alex Johnston, parallel for the Rabbits. Driving Force, Ivania Polite for the Titans. Jerome Hughes, parallel for the Storm. Rising Stars, James Schiller for the Raiders. Tohu Harris, parallel for the Warriors. Edric Lee, season to remember for the Knights. Kurt Capewell, parallel for Broncos. Rising Stars, Zach Fulton for Manly. Mitchell Moses, parallel for the Eels. Hey. Number 78 for Mr. Kelly. White authentic signature. Get in there. There we go. Xavier Coates for the Storm. Jerome Luai, parallel for Panthers. Women's NRL, Taryn Aiken for the Broncos. Titans parallel checklist. Sefo Fafita for the Titans. Scott Drinkwater parallel for the Cowboys. Women's NRL, Philomena Hennessy for the Eels. Jake Trbojevic parallel for Manly. Jack Whiten, Power Heroes for the Raiders. Brent Naden, parallel for the Tigers. Cameron Murray, parallel for the Rabbits. Rabbitoos. Rising Stars, Grant Anderson for the Storm. Nathan Cleary, parallel for Panthers. Alright, let's get into it. Box number 2. Rising Stars, Isaiah Tuss for the Rabbitohs. Jack DeBellin, parallel for Dragons. Lindsay Smith, Rising Stars for the Panthers. Jordan Rapana, parallel for the Raiders. Driving Force, Jack Bird for the Dragons. Cody Walker, parallel for the Rabbits. Forwards and backs, parallel, Joey Manu for the Roosters. Wade Egan, parallel for the Warriors. Gold parallel, Mitchell Moses for the Eels, number 58. Davida Pangai Jr., parallel for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Jeremiah Nanai for the Cowboys. Tony Staggs, parallel for the Broncos. Forwards and backs, Joe Offengawi for the Tigers. Panthers, parallel checklist. Luke Brooks, season to remember for the Tigers. Sam Walker, parallel for Roosters. Keely Davis, women's NRL for the Dragons. Valentine Holmes, parallel for the Cowboys. Curtis Morin, Rising Stars for the Bulldogs. Tommy Turbo, parallel for Manly. Season to remember, Valami Kikau for the Panthers. Vanilla Pole, parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Tanela Otokolo for the Warriors. Dale Finucane, parallel for the Sharks. Driving Force, Adam Fanua-Blake for the Warriors. Philip Semi, parallel for Titans. Toltol Koala, Rising Stars for Manly. Ryan Madison, parallel for the Eels. Kira Dibb, women's NRL for the Knights. Nick Meaney, parallel for Storm. Brittany Brearley Natty, women's NRL for the Titans. Cameron Munster, parallel for the Storm. Dolphins number 13. Sharks parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Jaden Hunt for the Dragons. Jared Hargraves, parallel for the Roosters. Tyron Wishart, Rising Stars for Storm. Dylan Edwards, parallel for the Panthers. Forwards and backs, Reece Robson for the Cowboys. Tommy Dearden, parallel for the Cowboys. Club Heroes, Jeremy Marshall King for the Bulldogs. Broncos parallel checklist. Zahara Tamara, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Daly Cherry Evans, parallel for Manly. Millie Boyle, driving force for the Knights. Adam Pompey, parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Hayes Perham for the Eels. Dane Laurie, parallel for the Tigers. Driving force, Nathan Cleary for the Panthers. Big Tino, parallel for the Titans. Driving force team, Women's NRL Dragons. Regan Campbell-Gillard, parallel for the Eels. Okay, Dykes, Rising Stars for the Sharks. Keon Kolomateni, parallel for the Rabbits. Rising Stars, Terrell May for the Roosters. Nelson Asafa Solomona, parallel for the Storm. Zach Lomax, season to remember for the Dragons. Siosifa Talakai, parallel for the Sharks. Women's NRL, Chelsea Olenarduzzi for the Broncos. Corey Horsburgh, parallel for the Raiders. Retirements, David Mead for the Broncos. Roosters parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Junior Tupou for the Tigers. Jake Avarillo, parallel for the Bulldogs. Abby Church, Women's NRL for the Eels. Jaden Sewer, parallel for the Dragons. Our heroes, Ryan Pappenhausen for the Storm. Bradman Best, parallel for the Knights. Our heroes, Joey Manu for the Roosters. Jacob Saifiti, parallel for the Knights. Will Penasini, parallel for the Eels. And that is the end of box number 2. Driving force, Adam Reynolds for the Broncos. Reuben Cotter, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Ezra Mam for the Broncos. Bo Fermor, parallel for the Titans. Forwards and backs, parallel, Joseph Tapine for the Raiders. Morgan Harper, parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Jacob Arthur for the Eels. Tigers, parallel checklist. Forwards and backs, David Fafita for the Titans. Milwaukee Fotowaka, parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Zach Wolford for the Raiders. Jazz Tavaga, parallel for the Warriors. Our Heroes Group B. Promise not to get that mixed up again. Sorry about that last video, guys. Selwyn Cobbo, Broncos parallel. So we got a Group A and a Group B, and I accidentally used the Group B teams in the original video. So I had to do another quick video for Group A. Shanae Sia-Solka, Women's NRL for the Broncos. Stephen Crichton, parallel for the Panthers. Rising Stars, Cleese Huss for the Titans. Jason Tormalolo, parallel for the Cowboys. Talila Fuimo'ono, Women's NRL for the Dragons. Sean Lane, parallel for the Eels. Forwards and backs, Payne Huss for the Broncos. Bailey Simonson, parallel for the Eels. Shania Power, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Harry Grant, parallel for Storm. Bulldogs parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Ben Thomas for the Roosters. Justin Olam, parallel for Storm. Season to remember, Jacob Keres for the Bulldogs. Toby Rudolph, parallel for the Sharks. Driving Force, Justin Olam for Storm. Joey Manu, parallel for the Roosters. Dolphins number 10. Knights parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Ronald Volkman for the Warriors. Blake Brayley, parallel for the Sharks. Driving Force, Jordan Rapana for the Raiders. Daniel Tupou, parallel for the Roosters. Driving Force team for the Dragons. Corey Waddell, parallel for the Bulldogs. Rising Stars, Isaac Thompson for the Rabbitohs. Dragons parallel checklist. Olivia Higgins, Women's NRL for the Knights. Zach Lomax, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Christian Mapalangi for the Knights. Kalen Ponga, parallel for the Knights. Season to remember, Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Daniel Saifiti, parallel for the Knights. Andrew Fafita, retirements for the Sharks. Hudson Young, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Kale Hero for the Sharks. Damien Cook, parallel for the Rabbits. Tess Staines, Women's NRL for the Eels. Adam Fanua Blake, parallel for the Warriors. Season to remember, Xavier Coates for the Storm. Josh Papali, parallel for the Raiders. Driving Force, Isaac Liu for Titans. Manly parallel checklist. Club Heroes, Holly Wheeler for the Dragons. Jackson Hastings, parallel for the Tigers. Gold parallel, Xavier Coates for the Storm, number 14. Latrell Mitchell, parallel for the Rabbits. Our Heroes, Josh Curran for the Warriors. Herbie Farnworth, parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Alec McDonald for the Storm. Isaiah Yeo, parallel for the Panthers. 3 more packets for our third box. Rising Stars, Fanua Pole for the Tigers. Aaron Shoop, parallel for the Bulldogs. Women's NRL, Avania Polite for the Titans. Moses Sule, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Jamin Salmon for the Panthers. Jack Whiten, parallel for the Raiders. Drink. Alright, let's go. Our Heroes Group A. Nari Tawala, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Lindsay Smith for the Panthers. Joseph Tapine, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Isaiah Tass for the Rabbits. Jaden Sewer, parallel for the Dragons. Driving Force, Latrell Mitchell for the Rabbitohs. Jai Arrow, parallel for the Rabbitohs. For anyone that's watching and hasn't seen Break 213, he's up on the website. And also a Raz for spot 16 listed in the Facebook group. Alex Johnston, forwards and backs for the Rabbitohs. Josh Curran, parallel for the Warriors. Stephen Crichton, Power Heroes for the Panthers. Jacob Saifiti, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Jeremiah Nanai for the Cowboys. Thomas Flegler, parallel for the Broncos. Forwards and backs, Justin Olam for the Storm. Liam Martin, parallel for Panthers. Gold parallel, Anari Tuala for the Knights. Number 2. Nice low one, Andy. Jacob Rillo, parallel for the Bulldogs. Quincy Dodd, women's NRL for the Dragons. Jeremiah Nanai, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, Curtis Morin for the Bulldogs. Lachlan Croker, parallel for Manly. Season to remember, Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs. Adam Dewey, parallel for the Tigers. Tanila Otokolo, Rising Stars for the Warriors. Sifa Talakai, parallel for the Sharks. Driving Force, Clint Gufferson for the Eels. Jaden Campbell, parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Tolator Koala for Manly. Junior Paulo, parallel for the Eels. Women's NRL, Tamika Upton for the Knights. Nelson Asafa Solomona, parallel for the Storm. Women's NRL, Stephanie Hancock for Titans. Xavier Coates, parallel for Storm. Dolphins number 11. Cameron McInnes, parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Tyron Wishart for the Storm. Panthers parallel checklist. Season to remember for the Sharks. Roosters parallel checklist. Forwards and backs, Alex Johnston for the Rabbitohs. Cowboys, Valentine Holmes parallel. Isabel Kelly, women's NRL for the Roosters. Tommy Turbo, parallel for Manly. Five Heroes, Lachlan Miller for the Sharks. Tony Staggs, parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Hayes Perham for the Eels. Final Pole, parallel for the Tigers. Emma Tonigato, driving force for the Dragons. Philip Semi, parallel for the Titans. Driving force team for the Raiders. Ryan Madison, parallel for the Eels. Adam Dewey, driving force for the Tigers. Wade Egan, parallel for the Warriors. Rising Stars, Terrell May for the Roosters. Cameron Munster, parallel for the Storm. Season to remember, Ben Trbojevic for Manly. Sharks parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Cade Dykes for the Sharks. Cody Walker, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Authentic Initials, Dylan Watine Zalesniak for the Warriors, number 110. Jared Hargraves, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Junior Tupou for the Tigers. Jacob Carraz, parallel for the Bulldogs. Simon Torfa, Women's NRL for the Eels. Ben Hunt, parallel for the Dragons. 3 packs left for the box. Women's NRL, Jamie Chapman for the Broncos. Jordan Ravena, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Jaden Hunt for the Dragons. James Tedesco, parallel for the Roosters. Alright, last pack for the box. And it's a Regan Campbell Gillard parallel. Alright, so 3 boxes left to go. 2 hobby, 1 priority. Black Authentic, number 9. Xavier Coates for the Storm. Congratulations, Rob. Elliot Whitehead, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Ben Thomas for the Roosters. Ryan Pappenhausen, parallel for the Storm. Season to remember, Zach Fulton for Manly. Jesse Ramian, parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Cleese Haas for the Titans. Jeremiah Nanai, parallel for the Cowboys. Driving Force, Jessica Surgis for the Roosters. Lachlan Croker, parallel for Manly. Club Heroes, Kai Rodwell for the Eels. Adam Dewey, parallel for the Tigers. Ezra Mam, Rising Stars for the Broncos. Jaden Campbell, parallel for the Titans. Kale Hero, Rising Stars for the Sharks. Campbell Graham, parallel for the Rabbits. Women's NRL, Christian Pio for the Eels. Warriors parallel checklist. Driving Force, Keezy Apps for the Dragons. Victor Radley, parallel for the Roosters. Fanil Pole, Rising Stars for the Tigers. Bulldogs parallel checklist. Power Heroes, Nicholas Hines for the Sharks. Billy Walters, parallel for the Broncos. Rising Stars, Alec McDonald for the Storm. Brian Tyre, parallel for Panthers. Women's NRL, Lauren Brown for the Titans. Zach Lomax, parallel for Dragons. Dolphins are number 9. Kalen Ponga, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Jamin Salmon for the Panthers. Josh Papali, parallel for the Raiders. Driving Force, Jackson Hastings for the Tigers. Cowboys parallel checklist. Forwards and backs parallel, David Fifita for the Titans. Jason Saab parallel for Manly. Forwards and backs, Selwyn Cobbo for the Broncos. Junior Paulo parallel for the Eels. Sarah Tiger Tulki, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Xavier Coates, parallel for the Storm. Ron James, retirements for the Broncos. Jacob Carraz, parallel for the Bulldogs. Bobby Law, Women's NRL for the Knights. Ben Hunt, parallel for the Dragons. Christian Mapalangi, Rising Stars for the Knights. And Nari Tawala, parallel for the Knights. Rising Stars, Ronald Volkman for the Warriors. Cameron McInnes, parallel for the Sharks. Driving Force, Daniel Saifiti for the Knights. James Tedesco, parallel for the Roosters. Season to remember, Corey Oates for the Broncos. Joseph Tapine, parallel for the Raiders. Driving Force team for Manly. Matt Burton, parallel for the Bulldogs. Forwards and backs, Jaden Campbell for the Titans. Toby Sexton, parallel for the Titans. Women's NRL, Rachel Pearson for the Dragons. Clint Gufferson, parallel for the Eels. Gold parallel, number 32, Adam Fanua Blake for the Warriors. Any chance you got a spare bag of sleeves there, or able to grab me a bag, please? Dry arrow parallel for the Rabbits. Yeah, that's alright. Thank you. As long as you didn't hit the cards, it's all good. Yeah. Alright. Rising Stars, Isaac Thompson for the Rabbitohs. Mikhail Ravalawa, parallel for the Dragons. Season to remember, Kay Dykes for the Sharks. Dan Gagai, parallel for the Knights. Zach Wolford, Rising Stars for the Raiders. Josh Curran, parallel for the Warriors. Power Heroes, Patrick Carrigan for the Broncos. Thomas Flagler, parallel for Broncos. 2 packets left of this box, which is box number 5. Women's NRL, Amy Turner for the Broncos. Liam Martin, parallel for the Panthers. Rising Stars, Jacob Arthur for the Eels. Alex Twal, parallel for Tigers. Alright, so we have 2 boxes left at this point, 1 hobby and 1 priority. Last hobby box. Season 2 member, Addo Carr for the Bulldogs. Dave Fafita, parallel for the Titans. Gold parallel, Joseph Sawali for the Roosters. Number 7. Eels parallel checklist. Fletcher Baker, Rising Stars for the Roosters. Josh King, parallel for the Storm. Power Heroes, Zach Lomax for the Dragons. William Kennedy, parallel for the Sharks. Driving Force, Tommy Turbo for Manly. Talon May, parallel for the Panthers. Rising Stars, Aaron Booth for the Titans. Reece Robson, parallel for the Cowboys. Rising Stars, KO Weeks for Manly. Dylan Brown, parallel for the Eels. Kennedy Sherrington, Women's NRL for the Eels. Storm parallel checklist. Emily Bass, Women's NRL for the Broncos. Angus Crichton, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Austin Diaz for the Tigers. Josh Addo-Carr, parallel for the Bulldogs. Driving Force, Corey Oates for the Broncos. Cody Ramsey, parallel for the Dragons. Club Heroes, Shanice Parker for the Knights. Dominic Young, parallel for the Knights. Moses Leota, forwards and backs for the Panthers. Jack Bird, parallel for the Dragons. Our heroes, Matt Burton for the Bulldogs. Renato Mulatalo, parallel for the Sharks. Georgia Hale, women's NRL for the Titans. Molly Otoatu, parallel for Manly. Dolphins number 17. Stafford Toa, parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Dean Mariner for the Broncos. Brian Kelly, parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, Michael Molo for the Dragons. Saitili Tupanua, parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Sonny Luke for the Panthers. Nick Kotrick, parallel for the Raiders. Rising Stars, Leo Thompson for the Knights. Chris Randall, parallel for the Knights. Forwards and backs, Jason Saab for Manly. Rabbitohs parallel checklist. Racine McGregor, women's NRL for the Roosters. Edward Cossey, parallel for the Warriors. Ryan Madison, forwards and backs for the Eels. Matthew Tomoko, parallel for the Raiders. Griffin Neem, Rising Stars for the Cowboys. Payne Huss, parallel for the Broncos. Scott Drinkwater, parallel for the Cowboys. Women's NRL, Tegan Berry for the Dragons. Thomas Burgess, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Driving force, Cameron Munster for the Storm. Nathan Cleary, parallel for Panthers. Rising Stars, Trey Mooney for the Raiders. Bunty Afoa, parallel for the Warriors. Hannah Southwell, women's NRL for the Knights. Jake Trbojevic, parallel for Manly. Driving force team for the Roosters. Chad Townsend, parallel for the Cowboys. Sixth last packet for the box. Rising Stars, Jacob Carraz for the Bulldogs. Ruben Garrick, parallel for Manly. Rising Stars, Sean Russell for the Eels. The Super Power, parallel for the Tigers. Season to remember, Jake Clifford for the Knights. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for Broncos. Broncos got me down on a perfect round this week. Season to remember, Bo Formore for the Titans. Stefano Utikamanu, parallel for the Tigers. Retirements, George Tafua for Manly. And Alexander Brimson, parallel for the Titans. Last packet for the box. Last hobby packet for the break. Driving force, Brittany Brealey, Natty for the Titans, and Raymond Fatala Mariner, parallel for the Bulldogs. Alright. So, last but not least, the priority box. Leo Thompson, Rising Stars for the Knights. Chris Randall, parallel for the Knights. Forwards and backs, Mitchell Moses for the Eels. Matthew Tomoko, parallel for the Raiders. Women's NRL, Elsie Albert for the Dragons. Thomas Burgess, parallel for the Rabbitohs. Rising Stars, Trey Mooney for the Raiders. Bunty Afoa, parallel for the Warriors. Season to remember, Angus Crichton for the Roosters. Patrick Carrigan, parallel for the Broncos. Driving force, Josh Curran for the Warriors. Taylor May, parallel for Panthers. Rising Stars, Aaron Booth for Titans. Reese Robson parallel for the Cowboys. Women's NRL, Karina Brown for the Titans. Molly Olakau'atu parallel for Manly. Dolphins are number 6. Stafford Toa parallel for the Tigers. Rising Stars, Dean Mariner for the Broncos. Brian Kelly parallel for the Titans. Women's NRL, Rakaya Horn for the Eels. Storm parallel checklist. Power Heroes, a Big Tino for the Titans. Ronaldo Mulatalo parallel for the Sharks. Rising Stars, Michael Milo for the Dragons. Saitili Tupanua parallel for the Roosters. Rising Stars, Jacob Kiraz for the Bulldogs. Ruben Garrick parallel for Manly. Season to remember, Damien Cook for the Rabbitohs. Stefano Utakamanu parallel for the Tigers. Scoring machines. Number 96. Jamal Fogarty for the Raiders. Congratulations, Darren. Number 96 on that one. Alexander Brimson, parallel for the Titans. Rising Stars, KO Weeks for the Manly. Dylan Brown, parallel for Eels. Driving Force, Jaden Brayley for the Knights. Cody Ramsey, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Griffin Neem for the Cowboys. Payne Huss, parallel for the Broncos. Driving Force, Isaiah Yeo for Panthers. Nathan Cleary, parallel for Panthers. Driving Force team number 11 for the Dragons. Another one for Darren. Congratulations, mate. Chad Townsend, parallel for the Cowboys. Sonny Luke, Rising Stars for Panthers. Nick Kotrick, parallel for the Raiders. Forwards and backs, Hamoli Olakau'atu. Roto's NRL Checklist. Jessica Surgis, Women's NRL for the Roosters. Edward Cossey, parallel for the Warriors. Women's NRL, Amber Hall for the Broncos. Angus Crichton, parallel for the Roosters. Austin Diaz, Rising Stars for the Tigers. Josh Adokar, parallel for the Bulldogs. Drawing forwards, Keely Davis for the Dragons. Raymond Faitala Mariner, parallel for the Bulldogs. Forwards and backs, priority parallel, number 13, Joe Offengowie. Jack Bird, parallel for the Dragons. Rising Stars, Sean Russell for the Eels. Asuka Poa, parallel for the Tigers. Gold parallel, Herbie Farnworth for the Broncos, number 5. Eels parallel checklist. Rising Stars, Fletcher Baker for the Roosters. Josh King, parallel for Storm. Our Heroes, Adam Dewey for the Tigers. William Kennedy, parallel for the Sharks. Scott Drinkwater, parallel for the Cowboys. Women's NRL, Romy Titzel for the Knights. Jake Trbojevic, parallel for Manly. Club Hero, priority parallel, number 4. Malik Laurie for the Dragons. Dominic Young, parallel for the Knights. And we're up to our last packet, guys. Last packet for the break. Last packet for the priority box. Let's go. Season to remember, Tolator Koala for Manly. And David Fafita, parallel for the Titans. Right, let's go and do the randomizations. We've got a Group A and Group B Power Heroes and 7 Dolphins cards. I will remember to do the correct teams, so just bear with me for 2 seconds. Alright, that's already up and ready to go. So let's switch over. We'll do the Dolphins first. And I'll quickly read out what they are. Number 6, number 17, number 9, number 11, number 10, number 13, and number 3. Here we go. Number 1, number 2, and lucky last, number 3, David Jansen with the Roosters. Alright, Group A. Power Heroes, Broncos to Knights. Group A, here we go. Number 1, number 2, and lucky last, number 3, Robert Kelly with the Storm. And let's refresh it for one more time. Tigers to Cowboys. Alright, number 1. Number 2, and lucky last, number 3, Alicia Lolo with the Panthers. Alright, thank you everyone. Don't forget to check out Break 213, now listed on the website. Another half case, priority and mini starter case. And there is also a RAS listed in the Facebook group for anyone that may be interested in that. All spots go get an entry into the draw automatically. $100 a spot, $100 an entry in the giveaway. Remember, spend $100 on anything on the website and receive an entry into the giveaway.
Can be multiple orders.
Can be spread over multiple orders, guys. So if you just want to spend a couple of dollars here and there each week and build that up, if you have been already spending those few dollars every week, they will add up to an entry. Hopefully a few more. And yeah, good luck.